Hi, I'm Brian, and this is my Module 17, our data protocol. This is um, the sheet that I came up with. A lot of the data that I have in here right now is just a way to just get teachers rolling with an example, pretty much. A lot of the focus we have at Central High School is on improving English scores and also math scores. And as I was looking through data, the biggest reason why we need to focus on that is our at risk population, the free and reduced lunch, the English language learners, minorities, and also the SPED population. And so all the data I got in here, I got from the Colorado Department of Education website, and it's just a way to look at this as a whole school. Now, obviously, this is something that teachers can adapt, and they can bring in their own information, their own data they have for their classes. And so, especially for our math teachers and our English teachers, they can bring in their test scores. They can get their individual results from that state website and from the school as well for their particular students. And then they can use this document I've created to start some dialogue with themselves and also with their departments so they can get some ideas flowing. So a lot of what I have here, I mean, obviously the first step I think when looking at any kind of data is to first of all do like a self-reflection. Like, look, you got to look at it yourself and then figure out like what is this data telling me as a teacher or as an administrator. So like right here with the data reflection, the self-reflection, and then to really get the dialogue going. Something we work on at Central a lot is getting teachers to start talking to each other and working together. And so I have a lot of sections here where small groups or large groups will get together and start looking at the data and talking about what told themselves and start sharing that and seeing what ideas they come up with versus what other teachers have come up with. I think it's always really important as well to look at what we're doing well and then also what we can improve on. And obviously, with the data we're looking at, with Central is the at-risk students. Um, a lot of what we have to look at is like, what does the data not tell us? I think it's important to know, like, looking at certain data sets, it's like if something's not mentioned, we need to know what that is and where we can go find that data. Um, and really, the whole purpose of having this protocol in place is to really start to know where we need to focus and what improvements we need to make. Um, and so that's what I included here in my protocol as well, is by looking at the data, where should our focus of attention be and what improvements can we make as we focus on these sections. Um, and then finally, I think a major part of what I've learned throughout this course is um, once we collect data and we start making changes, we need to be able to make sure we're collecting more data. We need to know how we're going to measure our effectiveness in the short term, the midterm, the long term, and then we can then use that data to look at it again, go through this protocol again with the new data, and determine if the changes we've made have been helping or if they're not helping and what we can change to make it even better. Um, and I think teachers at Central would be fairly open to this, because I know there's a few who probably won't, because that's the staff at any school. You always get a couple of teachers that aren't really interested in doing these kind of things, but most of the staff really wants to see our school succeed. And so they'd be very open to looking at something like this, especially if we sat down as an example and then showed them how they can use this on their own and in their departments as well. Um, and I think it's a very adaptable. I mean, with the example I have up here, you can just remove all this information and start putting in the data that we collect. For example, I'm a Spanish teacher, and so for foreign language, we can put in the data that we collect for our different units that we teach and our different assessments, and then we can sit down as a department and look at what that data says and follow this protocol to determine what's working, what's not working, and what we can improve on. And with that, I've really enjoyed this course and have a really good one.